All right, everybody, welcome back to DIY Diecast. My name is Joe, and this is the Hot Wheels and Diecast Collector Show with Joe, episode number 24. Thanks for joining me again. Real quick before I get into the show here, I want to take care of some business before I forget. I embarked upon this journey of creating this Diecast YouTube channel only 10 months ago. And in case you didn't know, YouTube gives you some benchmarks that they like to see you meet. And one of those benchmarks is reaching 1,000 subscribers. Well, I thought it would take me about 2 years at the growth, at the rate that the channel was growing in the beginning. I was pretty certain it would take me at least 2 years if it was ever going to happen. But I'm proud to tell you that right now, as I speak to you, I'm sitting at 997 subscribers. I'm only 3 away. Maybe by the time this video is done being shot, I'll be there, okay? And that is not because of anything that I have done. That is all thanks to you. So I want to, before I forget, before I do anything else, let you guys know how much I appreciate you, your support, your watches, your views, your likes, your subscriptions. It all played a major part in helping me to get here in only 10 months. And I'm going to try not to get too mushy, so I'll keep moving. But if you're not subscribed, we do the daily show every week, and I drop lots of other videos in between. And I have currently about 180, I'm approaching 190 videos in my entire library that you could go back and catch if you are finding me for the first time. So if you're not subscribed, think about subscribing. It's only going to help me get to that next benchmark, and I can't do it without you. As far as the comments go too, I would like to say another thing. They've been absolutely fantastic. That's one of the things that has really kept me going. Keep the comments coming. I don't want to point any fingers, but you know who you are. Even if you left me a negative comment, I still responded back to you positively and thanked you for your honest opinion, because I do still appreciate you as well. Taking the time out to watch these videos, no matter what your opinion is about it, it's welcome here, and I appreciate you. All right, let's move right along. Let's get into business here. So on the weekly show here, episode number 24, remember, I pick a topic for the show, a main topic that is, and then I add a couple other things thrown in to make it a little bit more interesting. Today's topic I picked is a show for the birds. What do I mean by that? Thunderbirds and Firebirds is the main topic of our show today. I'll also stop the show twice, once for our NASCAR pick of the week, where I show you one of my favorite 1/64 scale vintage NASCAR collectibles for all you NASCAR collectors out there. And another special segment I added several episodes ago called What the Heck Is It Anyway? That's where we look at a poor, sometimes cheap quality diecast that doesn't really resemble a car very good, or it may not even have been a real model of car at all. Sometimes the only information on the bottom is made in China. Sometimes there's no writing on the bottom. So it's really hard to tell what they are usually. We'll take a look at another one of those and decide together, what the heck is it anyway? Alright, so you can't see the birds or anything else I was talking about, so I'm going to get behind the camera, point it down at the workshop table here, and we'll just get started. Hang tight. Alright, let's just go ahead and take a quick scan of the table, what we will be looking at today. Back there you will see our NASCAR pick of the week. Here are our Firebirds, looking fantastic. That's the lineup. We'll be going through them all. A few carded items still in the package. And the Thunderbirds. And something very special back there. You'll see why when we get to it. And then hiding behind that is the What Is It Anyway? Where shall we get started? Let's start with the Thunderbirds. Why not? Well, maybe I'll just bounce back and forth to make it interesting. We'll do a Thunder Chicken, and then we'll do a Firehawk. Well, do you have any nicknames for the Thunderbirds or the Firebirds in your collection? Alright, so let's start out with a Johnny Lightning topper, okay? Some of you who've been collecting a while and collect the various different brands know what the topper is. This is a Johnny Lightning car, of course, metal body, metal base, and you will notice that the quality of this casting is not so great. That is not a very great example of a, I think that's about a 67, 68. Okay. Custom Thunderbird. It does have a Landau top. That's pretty cool. Painted tail lights. We like that. No rubber tires, hard plastic for the wheels there. And no headlight details. But I think it's this half metal base that comes up midway through the car that I really don't like about these toppers. But anyway, they weren't supposed to be a great casting. And the reason why is because this is a remake of what the cars would have looked like back in the 70s when they were released. These were re-released, and recarded, and this one was from about the mid-90s, I believe. Got rid of the packaging long ago, but they re-released these just to give us an idea of what their original diecast would have looked like in the 70s. And that is the 67 Thunderbird. Sorry, 68. I'm sure glad I caught that and corrected myself. One of you guys were about to beat me up in the comments again. Alright, let's take a look at a Firebird. Don't you just love the NHRA diecast, especially in the 1/64 scale? I've got some of the bigger stuff, but I really like them. And this one here is an example from Racing Champions. Mama Rosa's Pizza. It's that 90s body style, early to mid 90s body style Firebird there. Great snorkel hood details. Got the wheelie bars out back, the parachute, everything. And plastic wheels, no rubber tires. But just love all of the NHRA drag racing diecast collectibles I can get, and a fine example there. Now, before I fly back over to the Thunderbirds, fly, get it? Oh boy. Let's look at the another similar Firebird real quick. Well, you still got that last one in your mind. Same car, Racing Champions, Winnebago instead of Mama Rosa's Pizza this time. All the same great details and a slightly different variation there. Very, very cool, those two. They look great lined up on a diorama drag strip. Alright, let's look at this beauty. Man, look, it is a lowrider T-Bird for sure. I don't know, that's what when I see these kind of paint jobs, I think lowrider immediately. And it is a low-slung car. It definitely rides low, and just beautiful long sweeping body lines. Two-seater Thunderbird. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful car. No date on the bottom. This is a very popular vintage mainline casting. It goes back many, many years. Lots of different color variations. I have one other color variation back here to show you out of many. And lots of different interior and wheel options as well. This one being one of my absolute favorites. You know how I love the lowriders. And this would have been, I don't know, I'm guessing around a 63 to 66, I think was the body style on these Thunderbirds. And I'll go ahead and show you the other color example as well while we're looking at this one. Alright, there it is, and you will notice that this thing has been abused. It's fresh from the sandbox. This one was one I came across at a flea market in a bucket, I'm sure. Probably paid a quarter for it. Planned on painting it and wheel swapping it or putting hydraulics on it or something, but this was another variation of color and decals and a different color interior too that you could have got with that classic Thunderbird. Well, guys, I was going to try to bounce back and forth between the two one at a time, but I didn't notice this before I started the show, and there are exactly two of each one I wanted to show you, so maybe we'll just do them two at a time, bounce back and forth. Let's look at the next ones. Alright, next up, let's see, we just did we need to do some more Firebirds. Okay, why not go ahead and start with the Knight Rider? Okay, fantastic. Now this is the mainline Hot Wheels mainline release of the Kit, was the name of the car from the famous 80s TV show Knight Rider. David Hasselhoff from Baywatch, of course, being the star and the driver of Kit in that show. And it's a beauty. You got hard plastic wheels, a plastic base. You did get a metal body, like most Hot Wheels and everything. Some of the details are really good. Knight Rider down the bottom. Now, this car would not have had that down the side of it in the actual TV show, but they want us to know that this is the Knight Rider version there. And this is the mainline version. And now I'm going to show you the $5.99 premium edition here, what the difference is, what you get with the premium there versus the mainline. All right, and here is the premium. Like I said, this one was about $5.99. It was on a premium card. Now, here's the differences from the mainline and the premium. You do get real rubber tires with the premium. And a feller paid up for the premium version because this is a iconic car from a TV show that I watched in my childhood. You got T-tops on this one, and you don't have down the side, of course, that Knight Rider, so this car is actually far more accurate. Instead of just a decal on the front there where the light was when the it kind of flashed when this car could talk in the TV show, and that light would flash. This is kind of recessed in there like a real light would be. It's kind of probably hard to see here, but the other one, the mainline car, just had a sticker up there, where this one actually has it recessed in there. So there are some great details that you do get if you choose to step up and buy the premium version. You even get the license plate on the premium versus no license plate on the mainline. Still a great car on the mainline there, and a little bit better wheel choice too on the premium too. So I'm a big fan of the premium in this case. All right, let's look at two more Thunderbirds. Okay, another classic casting. Of course, you know it's a classic casting when it has the Black Walls wheels on it. And so this would have been a classic Black Walls version of the Thunderbird. It's a cool car. I think it's not the most accurate as far as body lines and stuff like that. And it isn't main lines, but it's still a very, very cool, authentic looking T-Bird. This must have been from the early 90s, has a very early 90s, decals on it where they use the hot pink and the yellow, and they would use neon greens and stuff like that. Very famous early 90s colors. But there's one variation of it, and I have one still in the package here. A little bit more modern of a release. And again, this being a vintage and very popular casting that's been around for many years, this one also can be found in almost every color underneath the sun with many, many different color variations. Oh, and look, I paid up for that one too. $1.50 I paid for this. I guess we could call that a premium now, right? All right, let's go ahead and stop. And before we look at any more birds and do our NASCAR pick of the week, I chose a very fun one this week. It is the Revell, okay? Yeah, Revell, famous for their 124 scale, especially plastic model kits, also did 164 scale diecast as well. And they did it very well in some of their models. Of course, this one was released in 1997 at a time when NASCAR was at its prime, its absolute prime, all through the 90s there. And they certainly wanted to get their hands in on some of that success. And I'll bring this a lot closer so that you can see the details of this one, and we'll check out who the driver was here. Okay, the driver being Wally Dallenbach. Okay, maybe not the most recognizable name in NASCAR racing, but nonetheless, you have to have some talent and skill to make the NASCAR circuit, right? So we got the Wally Dallenbach and number 46 Woody Woodpecker car. You have to be about, let's see, I'm trying to think. I do remember Woody Woodpecker cartoons from being a kid, but even when I was a kid, they were a little bit older. You probably have to be 50 years old or whatnot to have watched Woody Woodpecker when his cartoons were first coming out. I remember them well, the reruns of them that I watched when I was a kid. Woody Woodpecker was one of the most funniest and sarcastic birds you would ever meet, and he had that all this ha 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 here. He laughed like crazy all the time in the cartoons. You really ought to go back on YouTube and check out some vintage Woody Woodpecker cartoons. They are great vintage throwback cartoons, and that, folks, is our NASCAR pick of the week. What fun! All right, now let's look at some classics. Here are a couple of Johnny Lightnings, and we have some premium details. Opening hoods on these Johnny Lightning examples. Look at that turquoise engine in there. Anybody know if that was a thing? Was Pontiac doing turquoise engine blocks coming from the factory? I'm not sure. But look at that, very Camaro-ish looking. Really the only difference being the taillights slightly, and then mainly the main difference between a Camaro and the Firebird being the front there. No big bird on the hood this early in these models. Premium details all around the windows. The trim is painted in, the door handles, the windshield wipers. Johnny Lightning just doing a fantastic job on this release of the 1967 Pontiac Firebird. And here is just another great different color variation of that same 67 Johnny Lightning Firebird. And no rubber wheels on these. They were too early for that. These were released in the early 90s there from Johnny Lightning. This one does have the opening hood as well. I heard it. Yeah, there it is. Look, it stays up too. All right, turquoise engine block as well. Must have been a Pontiac thing. And this one versus the white one does have a spoiler on the deck. So there's a difference. There really is a difference between the two. And this one, the previous one that I showed you, very beautiful metallic gold paint job. This is one you need to find, Firebird guys, if you don't have this in your collection. All right, we're going to finish up the Thunderbirds here. Now, what I got here is I found a couple extras still in the package of the white one here. Gosh, I must have scalped them. I'm terrible. You know how anyway, let's take a look at it. Here it is, a beautiful white and gray two-tone version. Very Pro Street looking. Looks like you could drive this thing on the street. Maybe not with that snorkel hood. Check local laws and listings. But I love this casting. Absolutely do. I'm so glad they gave us the 80s Thunderbird there. Must have been about an 86, 87 body style there. And I like how they gave us the real plastic headlight inserts. And not just some decals or painted in ones. And got a parachute out back. Plastic base on these and metal body, and staggered wheels, just like a dragster or drag racing car should be. You know, big out back, small out front. Great Thunderbird, great details. And I also have it in a black variation here, and I know there are other ones too that I do not have. Hoping to run across them very soon. Leave a comment, which is your favorite? Do you prefer the black one or the white one? Even the decals are pretty much the same, just a different color of the decal style there. Fantastic. All right, now let's look at my favorite absolute body style of Firebird, and I'm calling them the third generation Firebird, okay? Some people are going to disagree with me. I know I'm going to get some comments coming flying at me, but I call them the third generation because there was the very early 70s that had the split two-piece front bumper like the Camaro in the early 70s, but the rest of the body style was pretty much the same. And the taillights were one piece in the corners on those early Firebirds too. So for that reason, I'm calling them third generation, but I know some people would argue that these are second generation. But anyway, here is the mainline version of the Hot Wheels Firebird. This one I wheel swapped. You may have noticed that if you have this car. I put real rubber, very premium wheels and staggered tires on the thing, and I absolutely love it. Kind of flat black paint job too, not the glossy black paint job like you'll see on the upcoming Firebirds I'm getting ready to show you. But man, look how great that looks. Alright, and here's a very premium version. Yes, you may recognize this car as being the Racing Champions Smokey and the Bandit. This was the actual Smokey and the Bandit promoted card by Racing Champions. I had to open it up. It is very, very premium in its details. Very, very heavy car. Man, it is heavy. It's got a metal base and a metal body. Got real rubber tires with accurate details on the tread and in all of its details. Look at the silver paint around the red taillights too. Everything's there and nothing is missing. Alright, and to wrap up the Firebirds, I had to show you this. This is the Green Light Rocky 2 movie car set. And look what you get. You get a fantastic premium Firebird. Yes, you do. Just as premium as the Smokey and the Bandit model I just showed you. I actually even like this one better. Because I like the wheels better on. I think they're more accurate. And those are real rubber, white letter tires on there. But not only, okay, not only do you get this fantastic Firebird in here, you get this, it's a Scottsdale, okay? I almost called it a Silverado, but you look at the front of that, that is a Scottsdale. And the Scottsdale diecast is way harder to find than the Silverados. And you get premium, all premium, real rubber tires. You even get this, I don't care for the decals on the trailer. It's a great trailer, but looks kind of funky with the those decals on there. But it's supposed to depict the movie. It's doing everything it's supposed to do. You get 3 great pieces, 2 fantastic cars, all for one price from Greenlight in this collection. Alright, now before I wrap up the show and we do the what the heck is it anyway segment before we end the show, I know what you're thinking. I want to show you these. I know what you're thinking. What are you doing showing us some Batmobiles? Okay, these are the only Batmobiles I seek out for my collection. They are the original body style Batmobiles from the 60s Batman TV show. They're the only ones I like. I've got a bunch of other ones that are newer and look more like Corvettes and stuff like that. But I did not buy them on purpose. They would have came when I bought entire collections out or something like that. The only ones I seek out to buy are all the different variations of the original Batmobile, like this one here. Okay, now the reason I'm showing you these original Batmobiles, because these cars were made out of Thunderbirds. Yes, famous car creator and movie car customizer George Barris created all kinds of famous movie cars back through the years. Chose the 60s Thunderbird to make the original Batmobile out of. He put some, he added some big wings out back and a lot of other great custom body modifications. Of course, made the bubble top. And but if I put one of these next to one of the other Thunderbirds, now you can start to see the resemblance, okay? Now it has more of that 60, let me grab that other one. Now it has more of that 68 front grille up front there, but you can definitely see the pop-up on the Thunderbird headlights there, and there are lots of other style cues. Try to keep these from sliding out of my hand. Now you start to see it. He just added a lot of heavily modified body modifications and some wings out there from a Thunderbird to make those original Batmobiles. They came out in releases from Hot Wheels in many different color and interior variations, and I'm always looking for them all for my collection. Alright, we're getting ready to wrap it up here. Let's do the what the heck is it anyway? Let's look at this thing together. Now, I want to say before I get a little bit closer where you can see it so much better, is that I picked a little bit better one to to use for this segment in this show. Usually they're a lot more terrible than this. You should be able to look right at this car and tell what kind of car it is. It's a Yapming. We do actually know the name of the brand of this car, where we usually don't. Some of them are so poor quality they don't even have a name on them. But this one is a Yapming, says it on the bottom. It does not say what kind of car it is. The only other thing it says is made in Thailand. But it's very obvious what this car is. It's just a poor quality casting with some very poor quality wheels on it. But it not saying what it is and not having the correct licensing, it does lead you to ask the question when you see it from far away or just in a package, what the heck is it anyway? Let's take a closer look. There we are. Remember when your parents used to feed you cereal when you were a kid? Open up. Here we go. All right, there it is. Very ugly brown to start with. It says Motor Sport. Man, we did get a premium stripe on this very unpremium car. Look at the gap. You can see right through the wheel wells of that car. Whoa, very poor quality. But that is, of course, a Yapming version of the Nissan 240 ZX. They did paint the taillights in, albeit maybe this thing isn't as what the heck is it anyway as I thought it was. Huh. Alright, well that's going to wrap it up for episode 24 of the Diecast and Hot Wheels Collector Show with Joe. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that if you're new to finding the channel, you will subscribe so that you can be notified when the next videos come up. It's absolutely free, and there's about 180 other videos you haven't seen yet of mine too you could go back and check out. So please like and subscribe. Definitely leave a comment at the comment points I left in the video. Thanks again for your support, and I'll see you on the next one.